You are about to listen to the Dr. Dahlia Show. Sassy, stimulating medical talk radio. Any medical advice Dr. Dahlia Wax gives on her show should not be substituted for an actual visit to your medical provider. And now, here's Dr. Dahlia.
And we're back on the Dr. Dahlia Show, 1-877-DOC-DALI, 1-877-DOC-DALI. So many of us have been following the story of a registered sex offender, Richard Cox, who identified as a woman and had been facing charges in Arlington, Virginia, in Arlington County specifically, for exposing himself to women and girls in school locker rooms. A new development in this case is that the judge threw the case out. Back in 2024, Cox, Mr. Richard Cox, identifying as a transgender female, multiple times used women's locker rooms in Fairfax County and Arlington County. Now, these two counties are known for allowing people to use bathrooms and locker rooms based on their chosen gender identity. He claims he's a transgender woman. And he said, my civil rights as a transgender person allow me to use a public facility, including restrooms and changing rooms that identify as my gender. This is what he told police when he was getting, I believe, detained in November 2024. Now, apparently, he was exposing himself to women and girls in the rec center locker room throughout the county. In 2024, he used women's locker rooms in 2 high schools and a county fitness center in Arlington. The Arlington Commonwealth's attorney Parissa Dengani-Tofty's office indicted the sex offender for loitering, this is according to ABC 7 News, loitering within 100 feet of schools and child swim and gymnastics classes and exposing himself to women and girls in their locker rooms. Cox asked a judge for the indictments to be dismissed, and apparently that's what happened. Judge Daniel Lopez just ruled that the Virginia law under which Cox is being prosecuted, void for vagueness under the 14th Amendment. Now, this is obviously very confusing because I thought women strove to have, safe spaces. It's all about, you hear from the Democrats, safe spaces. We need our safe space. We need to feel safe. And here he is saying he's identifying as a woman, going into these locker rooms and exposing himself. That's not safe. That's then a danger, especially to a young girl. And the judge tosses it. Now he has a history. His previous, I think he had a prior conviction of possession of child pornography. Well, you really want him identifying as her in a pediatric locker room? He still, I guess, is being charged for possession of child pornography. And I think there's a current charge of sexual assault. But the judge decided to drop the indecent exposure charge, indecent liberties with children, sex offender on school or daycare property, sex offender loitering near school, daycare, park, playground. Okay, I thought we're trying to keep our kids safe. I thought bipartisanly, we want to ensure that our kids, boys, girls, and our men and women are safe. And if somebody has a prior conviction and is committing crimes in front of children, don't we want to put an end to that or help that person remediate or keep those kids safe? The issue I have with the bathroom issue, and I have family members and friends who are LGBTQAI+, I respect what they as adults do and their own personal, what they do in private, just like we heterosexuals, what we do in private, it's private. We don't force young kids. Like I would never, like when I teach at a school or do, children's reading week, I would not be dressed in any sexually provocative attire because that the kids don't need to see that. We keep sex away from kids. We keep genitalia away from kids. They could learn about it. Don't be shamed about it. Parents can talk about it, sex education. But when they're going to the bathroom or when they're going to the locker room, they're allowed that barrier. We talk about this all the time. When girls would go to the bathroom years ago, they would always go in pairs. And my friends would always say, oh, come to the bathroom with me. I don't want to go to the bathroom. It stinks in there. I don't have to go. Well, because if somebody's man or partner can't go in there with them, it's a dangerous place. And how do we know danger is coming to the bathroom? Because somebody who's not supposed to be there is walking in. Once we change the rules, saying, well, it doesn't matter how you identify, you can use the bathroom anytime you want. Well, now we're that red flag, that spidey sense. One thing that would alert us and sometimes give us valuable seconds is seeing a man walk into the girls' room. And now girls are supposed to think it's normal and it's normalized, that it's completely fine. Now, mind you, have I ever used the men's room? Yes. The line was too long at the women's room. Thank God the men didn't mind. And I asked for permission. I'm like, guys, I'm sorry. I really got to go. Can I come in here? I'm going to ask permission. There was consent. And I went to use the bathroom. I had to go. But, I believe that we've gone so far the other way. And the funny thing is the majority of individuals who are transgender aren't asking for this. They're not asking for child pornography convicted offenders and prior sex offenders to be set free. It's this group of liberals who think that they are being heroes for all communities. And it actually, not only hurts kids, it not only hurts the women movements, but it also hurts those who are trying to just be privately transgender and live their life the way they want to. 1-877-Dr. Don't go away.
This is an urgent announcement for anyone that's $10,000 or more in debt. Before you make another minimum payment, you need to know there are special programs that can completely free you of your debt. Total Financial Freedom can help you become debt-free in months instead of years. Resolve your credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and timeshares. Call Total Financial Freedom now at 800-878-6020 for a free consultation. For 16 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands get out of debt. You can feel confident when calling because Total Financial Freedom is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Battling for years and years stuck in the endless cycle of minimum payments could take decades. You have the right to get your debt resolved and substantially reduce your monthly payments. Call Total Financial Freedom now at 800-878-6020. That's 800-878-6020. 800-878-6020.
Hi guys, Dr. Dahlia here. Addictions can sneak up on us and come in many forms. Whether it's drugs, alcohol, sex, video games, porn, or something less obvious such as food, internet, or shopping, addiction can seem innocent at first and then evolve into an insurmountable evil. In our book, Addiction Basics, Caitlin Kalikas and I dive into the common addictions and provide tips for identifying and preventing these before they sneak in and take over our lives. Addiction Basics can be found on Amazon or my website, drdahlia.com. Check it out.
Increase fuel economy up to 7.9% with Hot Shot's Secret Gasoline Extreme, the solution to maximize your engine's performance and fuel economy. Whether you're driving a sports car or a daily commuter, Gasoline Extreme is specially formulated with PEA to deep clean. Don't settle for an average driving experience. Upgrade to Hot Shot's Secret Gasoline Extreme and go further on each tank. Order now on Amazon or HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
And we're back on the Dr. Dahlia Show, 1-877-DOC-DALI, 1-877-DOCDALI. Big thanks to Talk Media Network for making the show happen. Big thanks to Daniel, our amazing producer. And big thanks to you all for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter or X at Dr. Dahlia, Facebook, The Dr. Dahlia Show, and on YouTube, click like and subscribe. So I'm really frustrated with this Graham Platner, presumptive Democratic nominee in Maine's 2026 U.S. Senate race. He is supposed to, if the Democrats win, unseat Susan Collins. And you were looking at this candidate as this is the best the Democrats could do. And the controversies just keep piling on. If you remember, this is the man, I don't want to call him a gentleman, who had a Nazi tattoo on his chest. He claimed he didn't know it was an SS symbol, but witnesses said, he would brag about it and he would show everybody, and he knew gosh darn well what it was. He was a combat veteran. He's been open with his struggles about PTSD, which is what kind of got him in, because people felt, he's a veteran, he served his country, but then he goes off and he insults other veterans. He calls them explicit names on social media, especially when it was a Purple Heart recipient. And now we're looking at these controversies with sexting. Apparently, he has allegedly exchanged sexually explicit text messages while married. He's had allegations of volatile and some unsettling behavior towards former romantic partners. And some of these partners had said that he appeared to be physically threatening. Not necessarily, I don't believe, hit them, but appeared to be. He would drink a lot. There was infidelity. He was volatile. And, when we look at congresspeople and senators, and, unfortunately, many of them have very non-pristine marital relationships and dating pasts, and that's not the big news of the day. But it's the pattern of behavior he has. And is this who we want representing us as a Democrat, as an American, as a senator? Now, somebody could say, but Dr. Dahlia, isn't this all PTSD? If he has PTSD, won't he be more volatile? Won't he seem to have acts of aggression, acts of infidelity? Don't we see this with PTSD? You can. We definitely don't want him being the poster child of PTSD. All right? Many individuals with PTSD will not cheat on their wife, will not be physically threatening. Some people, however, can. But then the next question that comes up is if somebody has uncontrolled PTSD. Many of us have PTSD, but it will not interfere with our relationships and it will not interfere with our work. And the Americans with Disabilities Act will protect you and allow you to keep your job. But if you are representing your constituents in the Senate and you have uncontrolled behaviors, whether it's due to the PTSD or not, that could disqualify you. Again, cheating on his wife, as much of it as a horrible thing, that's not disqualifying. But if he has allegations where women didn't feel safe around him, really, this is the best candidate the Democrats could come up with? Now, I know some Republicans are like, shh, let sleeping dogs lie, just like with Biden. All right? If the Democrats want to go for a candidate like this, Susan Collins will be a shoo-in and she'll win. But, for me, I'm American first. We need to do better. I am seeing the Democratic Party disintegrate or morph, or the Democratic Party that I grew up with, that I knew of, the Clinton Democrats, the Kennedy Democrats, those are no more. The Democratic Party has now completely changed to this progressive, socialist, anti-Semitic, pro-Hamas. I mean, this is frightening stuff. And so, yeah, I don't want to see this happen. I don't want to see a Graham Platner who has a SS symbol on a big one on his chest, proud of it, letting people see it, talking about it. I don't think we should have somebody who ascribes to Nazism in our American Congress. We're not Nazis. That's inappropriate. Or somebody who looks at a veteran or a Purple Heart recipient or a survivor of being shot and calling our military men or women weenies. I can't say the exact word. And or somebody who doesn't have the filter or the cognition or the sense to know that you can't be physically threatening to another person. I mean, I'm watching these. Thank God, he and some of our Congress people aren't in Parliament. If you ever watch Parliament, these guys go crazy. I mean, it is a blood sport across the pond. But I'm watching these senators and these Congress people go back and forth in these hearings. It gets heated. And I'm afraid somebody's going to, rupture an aneurysm or throw an embolism, just screaming and yelling at each other. So you don't want somebody who's going to be volatile that could possibly hurt others. Now, if he never hurt others, if these are false accusations, and he has every right to, he's innocent until proven guilty. But we're seeing time and time again evidence that he's not a true American. This is not somebody that represents our ideals. Now you could say, but Dr. Dahlia, the election will handle that. If those in Maine do not feel he is appropriate to represent him in the Senate, they won't vote him in. True, in theory. In an election that doesn't have a state such as California taking an extra week or two to get the results in. And that also would be true if you didn't see all the Democratic leaders, including Chuck Schumer, who's Jewish, back him up. It's all about removing Susan Collins, who isn't really the most conservative Republican. I mean, she votes a lot of times, kind of independently or with the Democrats. But it seems to be that the Democratic leadership, even Ocasio-Cortez kind of skirted away on it. She wouldn't address it because it's all about the R and the D. Well, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, when Republicans have a candidate who is not, does not seem to, hit the ethical meter. I mean, Republicans worry that if that person's representing us as Americans, it's going to hurt the Republican Party. Same thing with Democrats. If Platner is representing us as Americans because other countries are watching this, that's an embarrassment. And then it almost validates Nazism, validates anti-Semitism, validates anti-military, validates anti-fidelity, validates, allegedly, physical threatening of relationships. Somebody with PTSD does not necessarily have all the traits that it appears Graham Platner is allegedly having. And I definitely don't want those with PTSD insulted because the news keeps saying, well, he has PTSD, so you got to give him a break. He has PTSD. No, the average person who has PTSD does not become a Nazi. I'm sorry. I'm not going to buy that. And the Democrats and the Republicans have to ensure that whoever is representing them is somebody that America as a whole could be proud of. I mean, John Fetterman, pretty good guy. Scalise, Mike Johnson, Steve Scalise, Mike Johnson. We have Kristen Sinema. We've had some individuals who, they've done some pretty good things in Congress, and that's what we want. And that's what we want to embolden, and that's what we want to encourage. What is he going to bring to Congress? Just being anti the Republican candidate? Are you really going to fight for women's rights? Are you going to fight for our military? Are you going to fight for America and capitalism or Nazism? Is that your choice? Democrats need to do better. 1-877 Doc Dolly. Don't go away.
Looking for a gift that can actually help secure someone's future? It's Mark Falter's new book, Common Sense Income Strategies. It makes the perfect gift for that special someone in your life. Mark has helped thousands of hardworking Americans secure their financial future by using time-tested strategies that continue to create wealth, whether the market is up or down. Strategies that will make perfect sense once you take the time to read this powerful book. Common Sense Income Strategies brings to you what Mark has been teaching in person and talking about on the radio for decades. You've worked too long and too hard not to see the fruits of your labor. To learn how to receive your free copy, call 866-764-2635. That's 866-764-2635. Secure your future with Common Sense Income Strategies by Mark Falter. Again, to learn how to receive your free copy, call 866-764-2635. That's 866-764-2635.
And we're back on the Dr. Dahlia Show, 1-877 Doc Dolly, 1-877 DOCDALI. So the liberal media is going after Trump again, claiming that he does not have extreme intelligence because Trump, after he took a cognitive test, his Montreal Cognitive Assessment, or MOCA, he got a really good score. So he had said that this is a sign of extreme intelligence or proof of that. But the media is asking doctors, what does it really mean? Well, the Montreal Cognitive Assessment checks for cognitive functioning and dementia. Scores of 26 or higher are considered good. Does that mean somebody is exceptionally intelligent? That's not what it's testing for. So now you have all this back and forth going, well, he doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's not intelligent, and apparently, President Trump posted he got a 30 out of 30 on his MOCA test, which is pretty good. It's not an IQ test. I don't think I've ever taken an IQ test. But what we do is we give individuals of advanced age the MOCA, or a mini mental status exam. There's a variety of different tools we could do. Biden should have gotten it, and nobody gave it to Biden. But the fact that the White House physician described the result as within normal limits, this is a good sign that he does not have cognitive impairment. This is pretty good. And now, of course, you have experts saying, well, he's had it 4 times before. There's limited question variation, so it's easier for him to get perfect scores. Look, here's the thing, okay? What we saw with Joe Biden was frightening. And I pray for him. He's going through a lot. He's got stage 4 cancer. Even if the cancer hasn't spread to the brain, it still can affect your thinking because the cancer is very toxic. It's affecting your body. I believe he had cancer for a long time. And it just didn't get diagnosed, or it didn't get revealed to the public and released to the public until after he left office. But this test should have been done for Biden, and it wasn't. And so what is the media doing now? Well, because they kept saying, well, Trump has cognitive deficit, Trump, and Trump passed his test. Now they're saying, well, you see, he's narcissistic. He's saying he's very intelligent. He's saying he's this. He's misleading the public. He's eroding trust. Come on. Listen, Trump is rebuking or rebutting the criticism that people are giving him, that he doesn't know what he's doing. He's not of sound mind. Yeah, the test looks at his memory, his attention, his language, his visual spatial skills, his orientation. Scores of 26 or higher are considered normal. 10% achieve a perfect score. If he got a perfect score, it's pretty impressive. Now, Trump had a physical on May 26th and at Walter Reed, and they found that, he did gain about 14 pounds, but has strong cardiac and neurological function. You look at his lab values, which we'll review later. They looked pretty strong. And so, for a man his age, 78, he's doing pretty damn good. And I'm impressed. I'm blown away. He's doing better than many 20 and 30-year-olds. I mean, he's always working. And I love the transparency. I love how he will bring the media in and he'll talk to the media. And he's not afraid to talk to the media. So people aren't like, what? Huh? What's going on? And it's interesting because you hear strategists go, I don't know why he's talking to the media so much. Because then they take what he say and they use it against him. Trump's being very wise about that. He would rather know what the media, it's better to deal with the devil you know than the devil you don't. Right? If he is telling the media something, he knows that's what the media is going to go after. And if he's trying to get other things done, rather than being quiet, and then there being all these conspiracy theories, is he doing this? Is he doing that? Him saying what he thinks. Let the media jump over that, go all crazy about it, and criticize him for that. But he's getting stuff done. Should you get a MOCA exam? Should you get a dementia screening tool? Absolutely. If there's dementia in the family, if you're noticing you're having memory loss, you could ask for one anytime. It's not expensive. If your family doctor won't administer it, then they might refer you to a neurologist, or refer you to a geriatrician, or, that's fine. When it comes to your cognitive process and your thinking and your ability to remember things, I don't think there's ever, it's never too late or too early. I believe that anytime you're concerned about your memory, I know COVID messed with a lot of us, and I know it messed with my memory, and I noticed that my learning ability has changed. Now, from that, we're talking, me taking Calculus 3, me studying, volumes and volumes of medical textbooks. I can't do that. I could not go back to medical school now. Yes, I'm able to learn. I'm able to read. I'm able to, thank God, do what I need to, for my patients, learn new drugs, manage them appropriately. I've passed all my boards, and I have another recertification next year. I feel I'm strong enough for that. But do I feel like I was when I was 20? Absolutely not. So I think these tests, are extremely important to do. And for those of you going, I'm afraid to take the test because I'm afraid of what my results are going to be. Look, if Trump could do it, you could do it, right? Trump had all eyes on him taking this test. He was confident enough to do it, which there's a difference between narcissism and confidence. Now, and maybe Trump is a little narcissistic at times, but you need to have confidence. I can't tell you how many times I messed up doing stand-up. I messed up singing a song because I didn't have the confidence. You just got to go out there and I'm going to sing it. And I'm going to perform it. And I'm going to do it. And when you do it, that confidence helps you. You ask somebody out. If you're like, well, gosh, would you ever consider going out? It's not going to work. If you're like, would you like to go out with me? I'd like to take you out. Who cares if they say no? That confidence still benefits you. And how many times were you asked out by somebody or you asked somebody out and they came back around? So confidence is important. I would definitely go for that. Now, for those of us going, well, now what do I do? I'm thinking I need this test and I want to pass it. I don't know what. One is relax about it. Don't panic if you're not where you're supposed to be. A lot of us can improve our memory and can improve our cognition. We always think, in life, once you lose it, it's gone. No. I've seen diabetics reverse their diabetes. I've seen people heal their liver. I've seen people improve their brain function. You know when I've seen people improve their brain function? When they got off the sleeping pills, when they drank less alcohol, when they stopped smoking, when they slept better, when they dealt with the stress. Some of this memory loss is reversible. Mark my words. And you need a medical provider to kind of help you navigate through that. And so, when you're looking at, well, what else can I do? I just do the same thing. I do the same tasks. I'm not learning like I used to. Well, then, switch things up a little bit. Why not do some Duolingo or whatever that app is where you could learn another language or do some Babbel? I honestly, I think there's an excuse for all of us to learn Spanish. How many times are you walking into a place where you don't understand what people are saying, or you're looking at signs in your neck of the woods and you learn it? I think it's extremely valuable. I'm so grateful I know Spanish to the degree that I do. You want to cook, learn how to cook, take a cooking class. Volunteering, teach other people. Teaching people was one of the best things I could do for my brain and for my memory. So good for Trump. I'm glad he did well on this. I do think he's an intelligent guy. Does the test intelligence? No, but he's an intelligent guy. I don't mess with him. Get yourself checked out. 1-877-DOC-DOLLAR. Don't go away. Dr. Dahlia here. Are you tired, burned out, gaining weight, succumbing to the daily pressures of life? Well, how's your dopamine doing? How you feel right now, how you'll feel an hour from now, and how you'll feel next week is completely reliant on your dopamine. Our daily motivation and willingness to push through challenges depends on the intricate chemical process dopamine provides. Christian Kalikas and I created Deploying Dopamine, a book that tells you what dopamine is, when it dysfunctions, and how to successfully deploy it when needed. Find Deploying Dopamine on Amazon today. Check it out.
Lisa Wolf here to tell you about our newest website for old-time radio lovers. It's 100radioshows.com. At this site, there are 5 old-time radio shows waiting for you to download free as our gift to you. And be sure to browse the additional 700 old-time radio shows available to you for 70% off by using the promo code RADIO at checkout. This is a limited-time offer, so log on to 100radioshows.com. That's 100radioshows.com.
All right, we are back on the Dr. Dolly Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-Dr. 1-877-DOC-DALI. So some of you have parents that are aging not very well, and you're worried about their driving abilities. And you thought the DMV or their doctor would be the ones to do the dirty work, and they're not. And you're like, I got to make the judgment call. And you don't want to. Right? You grew up, right, having a strained relationship with your parents, maybe. Maybe it was a wonderful relationship, but usually as kids or teenagers, it strains. And then all of a sudden, as an adult, you start to have a better relationship with the parents because they can't hit you with the belt. They can't, they don't have as much control. So now you start to be on more one-on-one. Some of you have good relationships with your parents. And then now all of a sudden, you have to be in this position of I'm taking the car away. Now, how did you feel when they wouldn't let you take the car? You hated them. You don't want to be hated. You know how that feels. And it's not that you're grounding them from Saturday night because you failed a test. This is you're taking the car keys away for good. And your parent, your senior parent, is not going to be happy. They are not going to like it. How do you do it? Do you do it? Now, I had many patients who were weenies, and so they would come to me. And they're like, I don't want my mom to drive. I don't want my dad to drive. Do something. And I'm like, why not? Tell me what's going on. Because it's not just about taking away the keys. Are they having dementia? Are they having macular degeneration? Is it cataracts? Are they have a hearing issue? As a doctor, I need to know so I could get that addressed. And so they would explain to me. And then for me, at the risk of the patient getting mad, all right, I would say, all right, yeah, I'm going to go check your eyes. Let's go to the eye chart. I'm going to just do a quick hearing check on you, part of your physical, part of this. And then I'm going to say, I'm nervous that you are going to be at higher risk of an accident, or, inadvertently not see or hear something. How's your driving at night? Oh, I don't drive at night. I can't drive at night. Okay. And that happens. Driving at night is harder. All right. Would you like to maybe see an eye doctor to look at if this is something that's temporary or could be fixed? And so even though I might not be ripping away the driver's license, you have to if they're seizing or things like that. But if I, I'm not the ophthalmologist, I'm not that, let's get this looked at, because I want to make sure you could pass your next driving test or your next DMV check. 99.99999% of the patients agreed to it. They went to the eye doctor. They went and got their hearing tested. I don't know. I had to wait with people. I just did. And then that doctor would be like, oh, hell no, you're not driving. You can't drive. With one of my family members, it was the eye doctor that said, no, you're not driving anymore. So one thing you could do is get the doctor involved. Now, that was pre-Obamacare. That was when you had a doctor and you saw that doctor and that doctor saw your whole family. That's what we family doctors trained for, where we knew everything that was going on with your family. I mean, not Real Housewives, sort of everything. But we knew, your mom had that stroke. How's she doing? I know it's been a couple years. Your dad had prostate cancer. How did that go? How's the treatment going? And so you had a relationship with everybody. So when they said, I'm a little worried about them driving, okay, bring them in. Let's take a look at that. Because, my job is also public safety. My job is public health. But now, if you're like, I don't know who my mom's doctor is. It's never the same person. I don't know who my dad sees. They don't go to the doctor. They just use telemedicine. Then it's going to be a little challenging. But if you are one of the fortunate ones where you actually have a primary care provider that you can see, then I think that's you could always start there. Next is share the hate. Okay. If you have brothers and sisters, get them in the room too. And so this way it's not all you. Because listen, your brothers and sisters are going to do good cop, bad cop. They're going to do that because they have been vying for the parents' attention or to hide from the parents' wrath. The eye of Mordor here. And so they might be like, if you have a problem with it, you say something. And you're like, you're such a weenie. So try to get them all involved so you could share the hate. And then if not, you'll have to bite the bullet and do it. Because if your family member gets into an accident, kills themselves, or kills, I apologize, my phone's going off, or kills somebody else, you're not going to be able to live with yourself. And so which would you rather have? Your family member upset with you for a week or two? And it will be about a week or two. It won't be longer. Because hopefully within that time, you'll have that extra support, the doctor, whoever, coming out saying, yeah, this is probably the best move. Also, there's other options. Now you could get an Uber or a Lyft to take your family member where they want to go. There's also a lot of city options now where they have options where they could go and help a senior get to the grocery store. There's actually shopping and where stores will deliver food, pharmacies are delivering, and then you could also be there. So when you have that conversation, the first thing that older person is going to think, the first thing that senior is going to think is that you think they're incompetent. You think they're old. You think they're about to die. So you need to immediately change that conversation. You won't be able to fix their thinking right away, but you need to address it in different ways. Now, one other way you could do, and I'm not saying to lie, is go look at the cost and say, I don't think we can afford the car anymore and the gas. There's a cheaper way that we could do this. I did the calculation. If you use Uber or Lyft or delivery, you're going to be saving a lot of money. But I need a car. Because remember, baby boomers and the traditionalists, the older individuals, they're going to be like, I need a car. I get that. But you could also work at the financial route where it's expensive, or or the car repairs or whatever. You could also pretend the car got stolen. Okay, that's another possibility. The car's gone. Someone stole your car. Well, we don't have money to get you a new one. I mean, that's last resort. But I think honesty is the best policy. And say, look, you could hurt somebody. You could hurt yourself. All right? I'm even having issues driving at night. And I'm starting to drive less. That's just the way things go. You can still be on this earth another 30, 40 years, but we're going to now I want to keep you on this earth another 30, 40 years. But you get into a car accident is not going to allow that to happen. All right. I see you having a long life with your grandchildren and later great-grandchildren. This is part of those processes. You might also have to get a hearing aid. You might also need to get your glasses rechecked. We might also need to put some bars in the bathroom. But we are making these moves to allow you to still be active. Oh, I'm going to be stuck at home. No, you're not. This is how we're going to do it. Anytime you want to go, this is who you call. And that's how you get a ride. You could go anywhere in the city you want. Just set it up like this. And you're going to have now the extra money to do that. And so it's going to be a little bit of a fight. But you have to just keep telling them, I love you. I love you, and this is the best thing for you. No, you're trying to get me back because I was mean to you, and I didn't let you date Dirk. And you reminded me about that. Yeah, I could have been with Dirk. Glad you reminded me. No, but they're going to say everything, and they're going to be mad. It's not going to be permanent. Well, they took away the car. She took away the car. She did this to me. She did this. That's abusive. Listen, you have to do what's best for them. All right? And it's not easy. But like I said, worst case scenario, cars just goes missing. And you say, yeah, we're going to report it to the police. Oh, they can't find it. 1-877-Doc-Dolly, don't go away.
Carl Amari here to tell you about our newest website for old-time radio lovers. It's 100radioshows.com. At this site, there are 5 old-time radio shows waiting for you to download free as our gift to you. And be sure to browse the additional 700 old-time radio shows available to you for 70% off by using the promo code RADIO at checkout. This is a limited-time offer, so log on to 100radioshows.com. That's 100radioshows.com.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? My name is Ron LeGrand, and over the past 40 years, I've bought over 3,000 houses without using my money or credit and taught thousands to do the same. Today, even in a virtual environment, we buy nice houses in nice neighborhoods using no banks, realtors, contractors, or other costly entanglements, and build huge cash flow and wealth without the hassle of tenants, all without credit and little or no money. You don't need a license or experience, and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Text FREE to 99799, and I'll send you my free training. I promise you I'll change the way you think about real estate and open the door to a new lifestyle that doesn't involve risk or rehabs and can quickly replace your current income. Text FREE to 99799 and let me show you how to take your life back and build cash flow and wealth from your home. That's FREE to 99799. Again, FREE to 99799.
As an organ donor, your story doesn't have to end. The good in you can live on. In fact, you could save up to 8 lives and restore sight and health for many more. Sign up right now online as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. You'll be happy you did. And just maybe, someone else will be happy too. Go to organdonor.gov. It saves lives. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.